Let me just put it another way. It's time for the flakiness to end. Remember what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 7, I believe it was? He said, anyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like the wise man who built his house on the rock. The winds come, the rains come, the house on the rock stands firm. But when you build your house on shifting sand, that's when we become flaky believers. Our lives are built on sand. And so it's like any which way the sand goes, that's where we go. How often do we get flaky when it comes to the cause of Christ and how much more has been given for us? We start making excuses for ourselves. And what I'm saying is, this is what the text says. Hey man, let's start living with some wisdom. Listen, how dare any of us ever be flaky? Somebody went before us who was beaten and stoned and shipwrecked and imprisoned and starved. And we complain because we're so busy. It's time for the flakiness to end, fam. If Jesus did indeed shed his blood and die for us, and if he did indeed rise from the dead on the third day, and if he did send his Holy Spirit, and the apostles were filled with the Holy Spirit and went to all over the world and began spreading the gospel and planting churches and gave their very lives. If this is true, who are we to be flaky, family? Who are we to complain about having to show up to church on time, about having to serve, about having to give of ourselves? We need to live our lives in light of eternity and in light of those who have gone before us and gave all for the cause of Christ.